Good morning to all of you. So we are going to continue the same current affairs series. Okay. Actually, many of the students are actually demanding that us be little bit slowly. Okay. So we will just doing only 1 hour lectures approximately. Okay. Means between 45 minutes to 1 hour and 10 minutes lecture. It will be approximately. Okay, per day. Fine. So because all of them are demanding the same thing. Okay. So we are actually, it is our responsibility to fulfilling that. Fine. So today we will deal with the same current affairs series. So let's see, okay, that what we are going to deal with today. See, I have already told about that we will deal with the current affairs, okay, and I have started with current affairs of May 2020, and today it is coming in under June month of 2020. So let's move to the another slide and we will see today's headlines, okay. See, our first today's topic, that is TULIP. In short, you can say it as tulip. Okay, tulip. TULIP. What is tulip actually? See, it is an urban learning internship program. Fine. Urban learning internship program. If you are getting somehow confusing in this language, then don't mind at all. Okay, because ultimately, if this is not a game of language. Okay. Fine. I will clear all the things related to tulip, TULIP. Okay, in short form you can say it is tulip, and it is what? It is urban learning internship program. So somehow it is a internship program. Okay, so we will see all the aspects related with tulip, a scheme launched during the awakening of COVID-19 in the year of 2020, that is the previous year. So let's see and move to the next slide. Now let's see, okay, be careful about all those aspects because these are important ones. Okay, whatever the schemes launched by the Union Government of India, those are actually really an important one. Okay, really important one those are. So we have to analyze and make notes of the schemes especially separate. So let's deal with the slide that it is representing here. So I will read word by word. Okay. So let's start. See, the Ministry of Human Resource Development, that is HRD. Fine. Earlier this ministry was at that time, which we are talking right now, okay, in 2020, at that time this ministry, the Ministry of HRD is known as the Ministry of HRD, but right now this ministry is known as Educational Ministry. Okay, Ministry of Education. That the HRD ministry is now known as Ministry of Education. So even you can say that Ministry of Education or Ministry of Housing and Urban Affairs. Fine. Have you heard about this kinds of ministry? Ministry of Housing and Urban Affairs? If not, then analyze here properly. Fine. So two ministries I have taken the name. Fine. Human Resource Development Ministry. It is also called as at present time as Ministry of Education. So Ministry of Education and Ministry of Housing and Urban Affairs, okay, and All India Council for Technical Education, that is AICTE. I hope you have seen somewhere, okay, regarding with the colleges, technical colleges, okay, you can see that approved by AICTE, written there. Fine. So the three main bodies here, that is HRD ministry. Right now that ministry is known as Ministry of Education. The second ministry is Ministry of Housing and Urban Affairs. The third body is not any ministry but apart from the ministry, and that is All India Council. Okay, All India Council for Technical Education. All India Council for Technical Education, that is AICTE. So all these three bodies have jointly launched. Okay. None of them have separately launched the tulip scheme. Okay, it means all three bodies jointly launched tulip scheme, launched an online portal for the urban learning internship program, that is tulip. Urban learning internship program. Okay, means somehow it is related with urban areas. So urban in somehow internship learning program in urban areas, in towns and cities. So which bodies? Number one, HRD ministry, that can also be called at present time as Ministry of Education. The second one, Ministry of Housing and Urban Affairs. The third body is All India Council for Technical Education, that is AICTE. These all three bodies are jointly launched an online portal, okay, for the urban learning internship program, and that portal is known as TULIP, TULIP. Fine, TULIP. So I hope it is clear to all of you. Fine, it is really an important one, because the schemes which can be covered or launched, okay, by any of the ministry is really important regarding our examination, particularly for preliminary examinations, because almost 2-3 questions every year related with the schemes, fine, are regularly coming. And what kind of questions related to the schemes are coming? Like TULIP, question may be asked that TULIP, the scheme TULIP is launched by two bodies usually given. First one AICTE, even it is possible that other one will is also given, that is Ministry of Housing and Urban Affairs, and the third one will be given not HRD ministry, apart from HRD ministry some incorrect ministry will be given, okay. These kinds of statements will be given. So you have to analyze the whole things and remember those facts, okay. In this slide you have to remember 3 facts, okay, just 3 facts. The 3 main bodies, HRD ministry, you can also call it as Ministry of Education. Second thing, which one? Ministry of Housing and Urban Affairs. The third one, All India Council for Technical Education, that is AICTE, okay. All these 3 jointly launched this TULIP scheme. So I hope it is clear to all of you. Have you remembered till now or not? I have remembered, but what about you? I hope it is fine, it is clear to all of you. So I am moving to the next slide. Now let's see. TULIP is a program for providing internship opportunities, okay. Internship opportunities, that internship means that if you have any kinds of degree and you are doing an internship in any of the organization, then you will get even some of the salaries too, not salaries like job, but even you can get some of the salaries, okay, some amount of salaries, real salaries you will get, and you will also perform some tasks in the organization, okay. So internship means a training type. So TULIP is a program for providing internship, okay. TULIP is itself not a means a kind of organization. TULIP is a portal program for providing internship opportunities, okay. It will not providing direct internship program, instead of that it will provide internship opportunities, fine, internship opportunities. If you are confused in opportunities, then I will definitely clear in polity section when you will read about the reservation, okay, what in which way the reservation has in legal not illegal, then you will know about actually what is real opportunity, okay, fine. Equal, see there are 2 things, one is equal and other things is equal opportunities. Both are totally different things, not the same one, okay, fine. If 2 students are standing here and I will say that both are equal, okay, and in other side 2 students are also standing and I will say that both have equal opportunity, both should be given equal opportunity for performing any of the task. So there is a difference, okay. What is the actual difference you will get in the polity section when I will cover about the reservation part, fine. I will come definitely when I will do some current affairs series, then I will definitely come on the main subject. So TULIP is a program for providing internship opportunities to which one? To whom? To fresh graduates, okay. Those who are graduate, not the postgraduate or undergraduate, it is for those who have recently become graduated, okay, fresh graduate in all urban local bodies, okay, means in all urban local bodies, okay, all the urban institutions, the fresh graduates will get opportunities under this TULIP program for internship, okay, for the task of performing internship. And smart cities across the country for a period of to 1 year, for a period of to 1 year. Okay, so there is a program for 1 year. TULIP is providing internship opportunity program for 1 year. Okay, remember this fact, it is for 1 year. Fine. In examination it is given that 2 years, 3 years, anything. So no, it is just 1 year. Okay, 1 year. And apart from fresh graduate in all urban local cities or all urban local bodies, apart from those bodies also, smart cities. Okay, have you heard about smart cities? The visionary mission of our Prime Minister. Actually those are not really visible on the ground level, but somehow it is a governmental scheme, so we will have to analyze it, we will have to read it. Okay, so smart cities means 100 smart cities slogan has been given by our Prime Minister. Okay, actually what kinds of criteria and what is actually reality of grounds, it is a debating matter. Okay, but it is not our important part of examination purpose, so we will not discuss about how it is affecting or not. Okay, we will discuss it in mains answer writing, somehow we can discuss it, but here it is not necessary. So all the fresh graduates in all urban local bodies or belonging to a smart cities from 100 smart cities, okay, those can get opportunities under this TULIP scheme for internship of 1 year. This is the summary of both two slides what I have covered. I hope it is clear. So I am moving to the next slide. Okay, now let's see TULIP, TULIP, that's why I am reading it short form, TULIP. Okay, so TULIP has been conceived to the budget in 2020-21. Okay, when the Finance Minister of India was presenting the Union Budget of India in Parliament, the budget of session of 2020 and 2021, okay, 2021, then this TULIP scheme has been covered under that budget. Announcement by the Finance Minister, what I am going to saying right now, under the theme, which theme? Aspirational India. Okay, aspirational India. This is really an important one, aspirational India. Okay, even a question may be given. Okay, means not question, a statement will be given based on TULIP scheme. Okay, like a question will be given that which of the following statements are incorrect about the TULIP scheme launched by the Union Government of India. So 4 statements will be given. Fine, and you have to find out that which of the following statement is incorrect. Remember these things, incorrect or correct. Even it will be given that which of the following statements are correct or incorrect, anything can be given. So if correct is asking in that statement, and here is in spirit of aspirational, if inspirational India has been given, then that will be a wrong one. Okay, that will be a wrong statement. It is aspirational India, not inspirational India or something else. Fine. So see how important this scheme is actually. It is only for 1 year for fresh graduate. Okay, only for urban local bodies and belonging to the smart cities, from the 100 smart cities. Okay, so it is really important because the budget for this scheme is itself mentioned in the budget of Union Budget of 2020-21, announcement made by the Finance Minister of India. Okay, and Finance Minister have launched this scheme in the Parliament. Okay, under which theme? Under the theme of aspirational India. So remember this fact, aspirational India. So I hope it is clear to all of you. So can I move to the next one? Okay, so I am moving to the next slide. Okay, here it is clear. Now let's see what are actually eligibility criteria. Okay, eligibility criteria for what? Eligibility criteria for what? Eligibility criteria to get opportunities in TULIP program to do 1 year internship program. Are you getting me or not? I am repeating it again. Eligibility criteria or eligibility condition for what? Eligibility condition for those fresh graduates. Okay, those fresh graduates either from they belongs to a smart cities or urban local bodies. So okay, so for fresh graduates, fine, the performing of 1 year internship program under the TULIP scheme, okay, the criteria has been given. What are the eligibility criteria? So we will see all those criteria, important criteria, okay. So let's see one by one. Only after that you will analyze the whole things about TULIP program, okay, because see, TULIP program is really an important one, okay. Somehow I am going not annoying, okay, but actually I am going little bit in a relation that it may be asked, okay, even in preliminary or in interview it can be asked definitely, fine, by any of the candidates. So it's these kinds of schemes are really important one, okay. So let's see what are those eligibility criteria or eligibility conditions one by one. So moving to the next slide for those eligibility conditions. Now let's see, it is for whom? Either it is for any of the citizens of any nations. No, it is only for Indian citizens, okay. So see how the benchmark has been set. First of all, it should be only for Indian citizen. Second, it is for only for graduates. Third, inside graduates, not all graduates, the first graduates, means the fresh graduates, okay, the students who have recently passed their graduation exam. So fresh graduates, okay. First of all, it is all citizens, then graduates, then fresh graduates, then graduates who are passing from, fresh graduates who are passing from urban local bodies or fresh graduates passing from or belonging to smart cities. The aim of achieving a smart cities, the total cities was 100, okay. So how this is actually been shortlisted, okay, this is the shortlisted thing. So only if you are citizen of India and you are fulfilling all those criteria, then you are eligible to get opportunity in the TULIP scheme to perform 1 year internship program, fine. Other thing, open to only Indian citizens and not more than 80 months should have passed. I will clear in easy language, passed from the date of declaration of final year results to the date from which the intensive is sought. Now let's see, fresh graduate, here the definition of fresh graduate has also been given, okay, for this kind of a scheme only, not for the whole things, okay. There is nothing a special definition of fresh graduate, that who are fresh graduates, okay. Here 18 months has been given, okay. So maximum, if you have passed, you have the declaration of result of the final year, means the third year, okay, or the fourth year, anything. So the final year result declaration, from that date of declaration, result of declaration, it doesn't should more than 18 months, okay. Under those 18 months you are eligible and termed as fresh graduates in this TULIP scheme. Are you getting me? The whole things, that fresh graduates, so many of them are confusing that what are actually fresh graduates. So fresh graduates, that those who have the declaration, their declaration of results has been happened, okay, last year declaration of result has been happened and not more than 18 months have been crossed, okay, within 18 months from the time of declaration of final year result, okay. So those will be termed as fresh graduates. So I hope it is clear to all of you. This slide, this is only an important one, okay, because eligibility criteria has been given and how I have shortlisted all these things. All citizens, from all citizens it should be graduates, from graduates it should be fresh graduates, even from fresh graduates it should not be more than 18 months from the declaration of result. Apart from that thing, those are students should belong from urban local bodies or means passing from urban local bodies or belonging to a smart cities. So how this shortlisted? So by shortlisting it, there are ultimately not many number of the students will be remaining, fine. So by an overview you will see that yeah, this is a very good scheme. But when you will analyze the whole things, at the final conclusion, you will see that no, it is not in the way which actually it seems to be earlier. I am not saying that it is not a good scheme, it's a good scheme. Okay, whatever government can do for development, it is good. Okay, but to what extent it is good or not, it's depend upon on your opinion of public. Okay, so made your opinion not by just seeing and just an overview of any of the things, just by going the deep details of data schemes, only then you will see that to what extent, okay, people will be termed as beneficiaries to TULIP scheme. That's why I have shortlisted it. Okay, because at any time, even in interview or even in mains examination, any question may be given that just criticize, okay, 2 or 3 of the schemes of the government. Then how you will criticize? So only if you are able to know the whole things and you have the capability to shortlist it in this way, then definitely you can score good marks. So I hope it is clear to all of you. So can I move to the next slide? So I am hoping so that it is clear. So I am moving to the next slide. First of all, I have to erase it. Okay. Now let's see, TULIP program is over. Now we will going some deep inside Garib Kalyan Rozgar Abhiyan. Okay, I hope I am not consuming more time. So let's see about Garib Kalyan Rozgar Abhiyan. Okay, it is also a scheme. Abhiyan, a scheme, Yojana, almost the same thing. Okay, just the name has been given separately. So Garib Kalyan Rozgar Abhiyan. Okay, so it is for poor people, for the welfare of poor people. Poor means Garib, Kalyan means welfare. So ultimately this Rozgar Abhiyan or Rozgar Yojana is for the welfare of the poor people. Now we will analyze that to what extent it really exists, because see, 1 year is going to be completed. 1 year has been completed from the launching of Garib Kalyan Rozgar Abhiyan. 1 year also completed of TULIP scheme. Now you can analyze by searching the reports of TULIP, okay, and even Garib Kalyan Rozgar Abhiyan, and you can make a separate, prepare your self notes, okay, on these schemes. Only if you will prepare your notes in this way, then you will be really different from other students. So now let's see some details about Garib Kalyan Rozgar Abhiyan. So move to the next slide. Now let's see. The government of India has launched, okay, the government of India has launched an employment scheme for migrant called Garib Kalyan Yojana Abhiyan. See, it has been formulated when there was a migrant crisis, okay, migration crisis. During the, when you remember, the first lockdown announced by our Prime Minister and given only 4 hours, okay, only 4 hours has been given for all the peoples of India, fine, to be in a suitable position. Actually that is not possible at all, not possible, because all are ultimately not on the same stage. Okay, so it is not possible. So actually what happened, that there was a further migration crisis has been happened. It is saying that even migration has been happened in such a way that after partition from India and Pakistan, almost like those kinds of migration have been happened, even from more than that. Okay, okay, some reports said that even more people than after the partition of India and Pakistan, even more people at that time, more people than that time has migrated from one place to other places in first lockdown. So see how was actually it is going to be very terrified time. Okay, it's a very terrified. Okay, it's a worrying time for all the citizens. Okay, for those migrant peoples. So let's see, it has been launched for those migrant peoples. This scheme, a very good scheme. Actually, it is a very good scheme launched by the government of India for the migrant workers, migrant peoples who have traveled from one state to their own state. So see, the government of India has launched Garib Kalyan Rozgar Abhiyan and employment scheme for migrant. Like in other simple examination, if from Delhi, like the numbers of migrant people are mostly in Bihar, Uttar Pradesh and like Madhya Pradesh, these kinds of states, Jharkhand, okay, Odisha. So these are the most 5 important states where migration crisis has been happened. Okay, because ultimately from these states actually peoples go to other of the cities, okay, bigger cities to earn some income. So these are the states. So if the actually the citizen of okay, the person of suppose Bihar have traveled to Delhi for the work, and after lockdown they have again traveled back to Bihar. So at that time it's become very difficult for those migrant peoples to survive even to a food of one time, okay, for their whole family. Very difficult time for those. So government of India thought that there should be take any schemes, okay, launched any schemes for those peoples. So government of India has done that and launched this scheme, fine, launched for migrant peoples, and that is called Garib Kalyan Rozgar Abhiyan. But analyze that to which extent it has been implemented, or this scheme has been itself just representation or a displaying for only on the papers, only for slogans. So what's your opinions? First of all, just prepare a report by searching on Google or anything, okay, and just prepare a reports or short reports, and you can now easily visualize that either this scheme has been successful or unsuccessful. If successful, then till which extent it is successful, or otherwise if unsuccessful, then to which extent it is unsuccessful. Okay, actually mains questions can be asked on this basis too, regularly asking. If you will analyze the whole social security questions, okay, in mains examinations, then 4 or 5 questions of related to social security has already been given in last year. So if you will analyze that, then you will write a beautiful answer, fine. So I hope it is clear to all of you. So can I move to the next one? So I am moving to the next slide. Okay, now let's see. In that Garib Kalyan Rozgar scheme, announcement of 50,000 crores money, and 50,000 crores money, and it itself a larger amount. Okay, if this scheme was implemented in a proper way, then definitely it will be good work. But ultimately the question is that either these all the crores of rupees, okay, many numbers of crores of rupees, 50,000 crores of rupees has been expended, implemented in a proper way or not, even reached to the people or not, fine. Because the launching of any program is really easy, but the implementation part of any of the program is really tough, okay. But we will not go any contradictory part of it, okay. But at somehow you have to analyze it. Only when you will have the ability to analyze something and to give your own opinion. So in Garib Kalyan Rozgar Abhiyan, an amount of rupees 50,000 crore would be spent on building durable, okay, building, not building, okay, not those buildings, huge buildings. Building means to construct, okay, constructing durable rural infrastructure. Here TULIP was for related to urban areas, but here this scheme Garib Kalyan Rozgar Abhiyan is related with constructing of durable rural infrastructure under the Garib Kalyan Rozgar Abhiyan. Okay, I will give examples, okay, for this scheme. Let's see, hear me clearly. Like 5,000 migrant peoples have migrated from Delhi to Bihar. 5,000 migrated peoples have migrated from Maharashtra to Uttar Pradesh. So how many migrated people are almost by combining both those states? So it is 10,000 just simple example, okay, just an assumption. So 10,000 migrant workers in rural areas, okay. So what happened that by this Abhiyan, Garib Kalyan Rozgar Abhiyan, government will have the plan to construct durable rural infrastructure. Rural infrastructure means constructing roads, okay, like operating fiber cables for internet connecting and other things, okay, other infrastructure thing in rural areas, means remote means village areas, fine. And by constructing there will be numbers of laborers required, okay, different types of talented persons are required to construct those infrastructures in rural areas, okay. And in that construction actually those workers will get the employment, okay, in those construction. And the other important thing is also workers have got the money, got the income from by working in those rural infrastructure, and apart from that rural infrastructures has also been developed. So two important things. So government has said that look, we are going to change the history of India by doing this scheme, okay, by allowing this scheme, okay. But it is ultimately the right thing that when you will find in any remote villages, okay, particularly in Bihar and UP, then you will find that ultimately this scheme has not been presented and displayed on the ground level, okay. 1%, 5%, it doesn't matter. Only if it is more than 80%, 80 to 90%, then it is can be called as somehow successful. Otherwise this scheme will be called as unsuccessful. But as a students we cannot term this as unsuccessful, okay. If the UPSC mention a question itself that it is unsuccessful, then you can give your opinions, but otherwise I have told you that be neutral, okay. Be neutral in the examination hall, but don't be so neutral that your self opinion will be lost, okay. Don't be so neutral even that, fine. So two important things have been done under this Garib Kalyan Rozgar Abhiyan. Workers will also get employment in rural areas and rural infrastructure will also be developed, fine. So for that the amount that has been expended set up by Government of India, that is 50,000 crore. How much amount of money has been allocated, okay. So is the whole money has been finished, okay, utilized or not? How many people are getting or the beneficiaries under this scheme? Are there any list, okay, are there any proper way, okay. Till now there is no RTI has been even given that how many people or how many beneficiaries are comes under this scheme, okay. So there is no authentic source of data under which we can say that these numbers of workers, migrant workers got, okay, got income or source of income by this Garib Kalyan Rozgar Abhiyan. So if there is not any authentic source, how can we conclude on that part of a scheme? Not at all. So I hope it is clear to all of you. So I am moving to the next slide, okay. Next one, what we are going to see, just see here. This Abhiyan, that is Garib Kalyan Rozgar Abhiyan, has provides facilities in rural areas. I have told you, if infrastructure will be built in rural areas, then facilities will also be provided, like laying of fiber cable. I have told you laying of fiber cable for the internet connection. But see, how many of the villages of Bihar, UP and MP have got free internet connection by this scheme, okay. Till wherever I am finding, I have nothing found anything, okay. In some areas even cable has been laid down, okay, and there is no connection. Even in most of the areas even this cable, fiber cable has not been even laying, okay. So ultimately we can give an overview conclusion that there should be a try, okay, a try in a most efficient way to perform this scheme. Otherwise this scheme will be a flop one. Laying of fiber cable and provisions of internet are also made a part of the scheme. The same thing, okay. Fiber cable, internet, these are the digital things, okay. So if you are not getting it, I am completing the whole things. This scheme has been launched for migrant workers who have reached their own home, migrated from the places where they actually work. After reaching their own home, actually there are not any means source of income. So government of India has launched Garib Kalyan Rozgar Abhiyan in rural areas, okay, by allocating 50,000 crore rupees, fine, for those migrant laborers only, okay. And what it will be done under that scheme, that several kinds of infrastructure will be built, like power cable will be laying, okay, internet connectivity and other things also. So development will also be done in rural areas, villages, remote areas, and migrant laborers will also join, okay, in those things and earn source of income, okay. So this is really a good initiative, but not behaving at the ground level at it should be, okay, fine. This is the fact. I am not denying any of the schemes, but the intention of all the schemes is really good, fine, but are those are applicable on the ground level or not? Ultimately the successful or unsuccess of that scheme depends on it. So now I am going to the next slide. I hope it is covered. So I am moving to the next slide and we will deal something else. Now let's see in the same topic, that is Garib Kalyan Rozgar Abhiyan, okay. The Ministry of Rural Development, not the Ministry of Housing and Urban Affairs, okay, in the first slide of TULIP, no, here it is, the Ministry of Rural Development is the nodal ministry for this campaign, okay, and the campaign will be implemented in close coordination with the state governments. In a simple way, you have to analyze it, okay, just don't memorize it. In a simple way, just make a concept that rural areas ministry of rural development or rural affairs, okay, is actually the nodal minister who will actually perform this campaign, fine, with the coordination of state governments. I hope it is clear to all of you. I am talking about Garib Kalyan Rozgar Abhiyan, okay. So I hope it is clear. If not clear, just pause the video and back to 2 minutes earlier and then see again 2 minutes. The whole things will be clear to all of you. So now I am moving to the next slide, okay. I hope it is clear to all of you, okay. So we are moving to the next one and we will see something else, that is forex reserves. It is our today's last headlines, that is forex reserves, okay. So what is forex reserves and what is the present situation of forex reserves, okay, or the situation of forex reserves in the month of June 2020, whenever the peak hour of COVID-19 first wave was going on, okay, lockdown was going on. So let's move forex reserves. It is a economy related slide, okay. Forex reserve is a economy related slide. It's really an important one, forex reserve, and this topic itself needed almost minimum 1 hour to complete the whole forex reserve aspects. That what is forex reserve, what is forex exchange market, what is balance of payment, what is SDR, okay, what is FDI, fine, who will keep these forex reserves. So all these things I will cover in the lectures of economy, Indian economy, fine. But since here there is a topic of forex reserves, so I will give just an overview of that, okay, overview. If anyone want to know some more details about forex reserve, just contact to our team, even you can call at me, okay, on my number 8434412235, okay. You can contact on this number any one of the team, or it is itself me that I will assist you, okay. Even you can ask more things on forex reserve, forex exchange market, what is the regulation of exchanging, okay, what is the policy, what are the currency, how much gold has been occupied for the forex reserves. I will tell all those things, okay. Even not, I will also cover in the economic lecture, so don't mind it if this kinds of forex reserve is not totally suitable for you, okay. Just give an overview about this aspect. See, it was in news, forex reserve in June 2020 because forex reserves has been increased significantly at that time. So let's see about forex reserves at current position, like current position of June 2020. See, India becomes the fifth largest foreign exchange reserve holder. Okay, India becomes the fifth largest nation to hold foreign exchange reserve holder. Fine. In the world, with the forex reserves topping almost $500 billion for the first time ever. This is the first time the Indian government have achieved that the forex reserves is topping approximately $500 billion. Itself a big amount. Okay, $500 billion. So what is actually forex reserve? I will cover in the upcoming slide. Just I will give an overview. Okay, not the whole things, because it will take almost 1 hour, 1.5 hours for the whole things: balance of payment crisis, foreign exchange rate, foreign exchange market, foreign exchange reserves. Okay, all those things, SDR, golds, FDI. So almost 1.5 hour lectures must be needed for covering this. I will cover all those things in the lectures of Indian economy. Okay, so I hope it is clear to all of you. Okay, because India is become the fifth largest country when we talk about forex reserves, keeping the forex reserves. Okay, so fifth position. So I am moving to the next slide. Now let's see, what are forex reserves? Important questions. What are the forex reserves in which India have got the fifth position in the global world? Okay, so now let's see that what are forex reserves. So moving to the next slide. See, forex reserves are external assets in the form of gold. SDRs means a special drawing rights of the IMF, International Monetary Fund, and foreign currency assets like capital inflows to the capital markets, FDI and external commercial borrowings accumulated by India and controlled by the Reserve Bank of India. See, I think all of you are getting confusing in this slide. Okay, so I will take 2 or 3 minutes and I will complete this slide in a simple way. Let's see actually what are forex reserves. See, forex reserve means the currencies of other nations. Okay, of other nations holding inside RBI, Reserve Bank of India. When we talk about India, then the Central Bank of India is RBI. Okay, in America it is a federal structure system, central bank. So currencies of different, like, see, just understanding me, if any corporate house of USA wants to invest in India, then actually what happened? Wants to invest in India, fine, then India will take money in terms of rupees, and those cooperative houses have dollars, US dollars. So they will come in India, okay, and give their dollars to RBI, and RBI will give rupees, okay, on evaluating with the what is actual value of how much dollars that has been submitted. They will give rupees, okay, on behalf of those rupees, those cooperative houses or those corporation organization can work in India, okay, because ultimately they have to pay the daily labor wages in not in dollar but only in rupees. So see, those dollars has come to the RBI, and RBI has given equal amount of rupees to that organization. So ultimately dollars have come to India, okay. Also by foreign direct investment, the foreign currency has been come up, okay. India preferred mostly for US dollar because it is the dominating currency till now for the whole global world, okay. So what is actually benefit? Okay, if there is increasing if there is increasement in forex reserves of India, then it is beneficial for India or not? Yes, definitely it is beneficial for India, because see, when India will purchase crude oils, when India will purchase crude oils from Gulf countries, then India will not pay them in rupees. Instead of that, India will brought those crude oils from Gulf countries and take it to India, and by taking it, okay, of petroleum products, India will give some money, but India cannot give money in rupees. India will give money in dollar, US dollar. So only when RBI has sufficient amount of forex reserves, then RBI will give these forex reserves to Government of India, okay, and Government of India will give money to RBI, okay, the same amount of money, whatever the money evaluating, RBI will keep those money in the RBI, and instead of that, those money RBI will give foreign currencies like US dollar to the Government of India. Now Government of India will about crude oil from the Gulf nations. Okay, that is why it is become so necessary that forex reserves should be in a sufficient way. Fine, it is just an overview. I will tell you when during the Indian economy lectures. Okay, so that is the thing. Actually, when we will go deep inside these words, then we will confusing at right now time. Okay, because you don't cover even lectures of Indian economy, but I have given an overview. So now moving to the next slide, if any other slide remaining. Okay, and again an important thing, RBI published forex reserves report not early, not monthly, but weekly. Okay, weekly. Even you can find out, and now you can itself Google that the present forex reserves of India, then you can find out the answers. See, the foreign exchange reserves that has been presented in India in June 2020 was actually approximately more than $500 billion, and that amount is 15% of India's GDP, India's total GDP. So see how much foreign exchange is actually required for Indian nation. Only when you will get about balance of payment, then this will be really clarified. But don't mind it, I will cover those whole things in a very explained view in Indian economy lecture. Balance of payment, balance of crisis, why balance of crisis has happened in 1990s, okay, due to which liberalization, globalization policy has been adopted, okay, forced by the World Bank, okay, suggestions given by the World Bank. So whenever you will get all those things, okay, each by each individually, then only you can cover this slide. But you can cover it also, and remember the facts that almost the forex reserves present in India, okay, last year it was almost 50%, 15% of total GDP of India. Okay, so I hope it is clear to all of you. So if any other slides remaining, I will cover, otherwise I will finish my lecture here itself. Okay, so moving to the next slide. No, it's over. Okay, so this session has been over here itself. Fine, so we will meet tomorrow again, and we will do the same short kind of videos, not a lengthy one, because students are getting frustrating because they are saying that we are now evolving in our PT examinations. Okay, so it becomes very difficult for us to do the whole things at the same time. So that's why now I will deal almost 1 hour lectures per day. Okay, not more than 1 hour. It is sufficient. Okay, it is sufficient for 1 day task. Fine. So we will meet tomorrow again. Thank you so much for staying with us. Thank you so much.